Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the archives meeting. So we are going to go through our project board and uh, just look at everything we are busy doing. And Vanessa's going to kick us off with the action items and decision items before we start going through the project board. Are you ready to do? Okay, cool.
Yeah, can everybody see my screen all right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, first things first, I just need to capture who's here, but I'll do that after I've gone through all the action items and so on. I'm going to do a bit of tweaking to the working docs. I don't think we need the Q2 budget in there still, but everything else I think is probably valid, and that is today's meeting issue because I just did it. So we had an interesting discussion about how to record people's names in the archives, and we came up with archive name equals Discord name. So that's what we're going with. Might be worth raising the fact that, some documenters are raising questions about, how do I know what somebody's Discord name is if they're in a meeting with their real name on their Zoom? And yeah, it can be difficult. I think it's maybe just something that you have to learn as you go along. But I'm just conscious that some people have an alias to protect their privacy. So having some sort of a document where we sort of go, oh, this person is this name, probably wouldn't be the best idea. But yeah, I think we can remove that decision. Yeah, our Q3 budget was approved, but there will be some budget fitting. Yeah, we still don't know what the budget fitting percentage is, so it's really difficult to decide to know what we're going to cut. Hopefully we'll know that by the next meeting. And there's some things that I think we should just assume are going to go ahead anyway. We looked at Ubio's recent work on testing LLM models. There's obviously additions to the issue for that, so we'll get to it when we get to it. We asked him
Yeah.
to create it in a more accessible format, and he has. So yeah. Um, Andre's docs management interface, it's documented that it's there. We said that he and I would have a look at it and he would help me get to grips with how to use it, and that's in progress, so that can go. The RAG process, Stephen is documenting it directly in an LLM development section on the archives front page, and he's going to be working on plain English explanations. So that can go. That's in progress. Work on our open source paradigm. We discussed when to make the presentation, and it was kind of left with Stephen to decide. And obviously he's not here today, so I think I'm going to leave that on as a decision that we can come back to. Andre's tool development work, that was just documenting what was said, so that can go. The work on the pre-archives workgroup backlog, that is an issue on the board, so we're gonna come to that when we get to it on the board, but we did agree to add the deep funding community governance meetings, and that has been done, so I can take that out. And we agreed on a deadline of the 3rd of July, and that was met as far as I can tell. The planned town hall reporting back on the tag taxonomy work was done very successfully, so we can take that out. And we noted that governance work group is going to pay Essay to upload their backlog of summaries to the tool. I've kind of nudged Felix about that, and I don't think he has yet put it up as a deep work task, so I'm going to leave that up. As for decisions, Duke was to create a video walkthrough. That's kind of been passed over to IO, and so we'll get to that when we get to that. I think I'm going to leave it as in progress. Even though it's done, I think there might be some tweaks needed. Everyone was to add comments to the AI ethics doc, async. Again, it's on the agenda, but I don't know if everybody who wants to has done so. So I'll leave it in progress for now. And if it turns out nobody else wants to, then there we are. Yeah, this writing a doc on how to make a document community owned. I have started that. It's kind of done, but I think that there's more things I want to add to it. So actually, I might change that to in progress. Eka Mini and Essay were to liaise outside the meeting on a town hall presentation on Ubio's work. I'm pretty sure that's in progress. We'll get to it when we get to it on the board. Essay on Yucca and Ecomini work on presentation on the tag taxonomy work, which was done. So let me just check that I added that. Was presented at Town Hall on the 2nd of July. And very good it was too. So the update on that is in the issue and it's done. André was to ask Ubio if he can convert his Excel spreadsheet. That was done. We two were to meet to go through the document management interface. So that's done. All right. And we should probably share that when we get to it. Stephen was to tidy up the documentation of the Q2 web process and close the issue. That's done. This is still in progress. Stephen deciding how to progress a presentation on the open source paradigm. Those who were here last time will remember that we were talking about, oh, should we do it in a town hall or should we have a special meeting or what? André to collate a doc, collating issues that need to be addressed. That's done in the Q3 redesign of the meeting summary tool. I was to post in Discord chat for the backlog work that what we'd agreed about, like doing the community governance meetings as well. I did that. Anyika was to DM Peter to check there is space at the town hall for the, evidently there was because it was done. And I was to create issues on the GitHub board for all the forthcoming Q3 work. I haven't done it because we don't yet know what all the coming Q3 work is because we still haven't got the details of the budget, which is getting a bit of a yawn now. I kind of wish they'd all get approved and we would know what we have. But yeah, that's about all. Over to you, André.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay. So I'm just gonna start at the top from in progress. These the reward distributions will happen next week, so they are still in progress. I think next week Tuesday this should also be done, and then the governance kit book part 1 for quarter 1. And let me
No,
open
it's
it
bad
up.
that it's labeled quarter 1. Still in progress. I hope to get it wrapped up and finished by the next meeting. So
Okay.
yeah.
So usually if
Same with part 2. Yeah. They're kind of folded in together, honestly. Maybe we should. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if they are still in progress, we just leave them as is.
Yeah.
Okay, then this one, this was so this is that document management tool that I'm busy working on. We finally got it live. I wonder, should we show it now?
Yeah, why not?
See if it works here. I forgot this browser. I'd have to open it somewhere else. Let me just check. Yeah. Hey. So this tool, we can, what happens if the meeting summary tool automatically adds all the documents that people add in the tool gets added to the database. So this tool looks at the database and then it creates archive copies automatically, but we can create our own archival copies if something significant happens to a document. So for the way like this supervisory council documents, we can, if something significant happens, like say the owner changes, we can enter the new owner's name and we can write some rationale. And then that will show up. If we make a copy, it will show in the metadata. Yes, just some examples. Like this is the rationale we entered on that in the tool. Then it will show up here, and it will also have a date of the archival copy you make. And this also gets saved over here. So in GitHub, it makes a copy of the document. It makes different kinds of copies of the document. The document with comments or text and but when we make archival, these are automatic copies that happens every time changes happens to the doc. So these gets updated every time it changes. But if we make archival copies, it creates another folder. I just want to see where it is. I think it's here. Here's one. Here's an example of this. So it creates an archive copies folder, and you'll see it as date. This was just me testing it, testing the tool. So you can see a date and then the ID of the document. So this is where we make archival copies. And then if we want to add special documents, so all the documents that gets added to the summary tool gets added automatically. But if there's a special document, you can add it here. Say what kind of document it is. Is it supervisory council or ambassador program? Choose the work group. Then you can add the document here. So that's basically what this does. Then just look over here. So that is the last. This was the updates for June. And then I made a new one for Q3. I started doing updates for I added new headers to the archival copies. So every time we make an archival copy of the document, it has a header of who owns the doc, who created the doc, when it was created, all that information. So I'm busy doing that. And I also made notifications if documents are deleted or we lose access to documents, just to notify us so we know if maybe we can contact the person or if something needs to be done. Maybe they changed the doc. Maybe we need another URL for the doc, or just to know if something like that happens. Okay, and then are there any questions on that one? Okay. So that was
See a question in chat from Colleen saying, did you say edits the header with changes?
No, so every time the document changes, it just creates a copy. It doesn't change anything to the original document. So it makes copies of the document. And but when we make an archival copy, it creates an extra header. So if there's already a header in the document, we just add more lines to that header that says the stock was created on this day and this person owns the document. So it's just extra information for the archives. But we don't really change any other information. We just add those little bit extra information. Okay. So that was the document management and tooling. So Stephen is not here. How would we do this? Do we?
I think we probably just have to leave that till next meeting, because what we've got on the open source paradigm is just how are we going to share it, and it's kind of something Stephen was going to decide on. So I'm coming back to a meeting. So.
Okay, good. Then For July tool development, oh, shucks, I didn't write any updates. But maybe I can see something here. No, something happened. I think there's dates. Oh, I mainly focused on this, on the new tool. So the redesign of the new tool, I started creating the dashboard of this authentication, added authentication, and just created the basic structure of the new summary tool. So, and we also created, I think it's here, it's actually this, yeah. We created this document where we have the new features and improvements. I believe we will share this at some stage, or do something where we work with the community to add to this list. Maybe
Yeah,
do like
we've got a line in the budget which I haven't added as a task yet to do
yeah,
some community outreach on this. So it feels like at the moment, maybe what we should do is share this with Onyeka, because he's been doing quite a lot of work over time with
oh
people.
yes,
He's kind of the person people went to with queries.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, if we share it with you, Onyeka, and then we can get it up to a stage where then we can like share it more widely.
That sounds good. I think that's a good way to start. Let's see. Okay, so Umio, I created the Q3 issue for them. The Q2 one was closed, but the last update was that research is done. I don't think it's here. It was in the Q1, Q2. So he did create that file that he turned
Super
it into
interesting,
a
actually. I was going to say, if you could just drop a link to that issue in the chat, because the kind of research that he's done is really interesting, and people, it
oh
says the
this
issue's closed. People don't always look at the closed ones. So,
yes. Let me see. Like I said, the very last comment I did put a link for the CSV, so people can look at that CSV. See if you click on it, it's got the different models, the use of the project and its importance. And if you scroll to the end here, there's another column with advantages. I know it's quite a lot of models. I think it should be clear. It's about 30 different models. Yeah. So that's that. And then for Q3, I think he's gonna start testing some of those models. Okay. Then this, yeah, we talked about this just now. So we've got the document that we're going to share with Onyeka. Then start working on this to get this new tool. But this new tool, I think, is going to take about maybe 2 quarters to finally get it out there and people start using it. And then this, we said, AO is gonna help with this. I don't know if you see that.
yeah, I don't think he is here, is he yet? No. All right, if you just scroll down to the bottom, there is a link to the video that he made. What happened is that Duke was assigned to this, and then due to
Yeah.
pressure of work, he just couldn't, so he passed it on to IO. But I think,
Okay.
yeah, it is 22 minutes long. It's probably a little longer than we kind of envisaged. I think we were picturing, because people aren't going to watch that. And the other thing is
Yeah.
it feels a little bit like it doesn't entirely fit the brief because it's very much about going through how to use a GitHub board. Whereas what we
Mm,
wanted was something about how we use a GitHub board in this particular work group, because there are some specifics about how, the process we've evolved. And
yes. Yes.
the other thing that I found, and I don't, I'm not trying to be horribly critical or anything, but this is the thing when you do a walkthrough video very often is that the voiceover doesn't really explain what's being demonstrated. You'll just be, because you're actually doing it physically on the screen. So you'll just be going, oh, well, you just do this and it's really
Yeah.
easy and you just do this. But personally, I feel that a walkthrough video, the audio almost needs to stand alone. You need to not say, I'm doing this. You need to say, I'm clicking on
Um,
such and that will lead me to so. Do you know what I mean? And
yes. Yes.
I think, say, like, what was the other walkthrough video that we did? On Yuka's one about the meeting summary tool. You really did that on Yuka. You really kind of said, okay, you click this and then you do that. You didn't just let it rely on the visuals. So I think we need to model it on what you did a little bit. And I don't know, I feel a bit awkward about saying this when Io's not here, but I think it might need a rework because it doesn't really hit the brief. So hopefully he can just do a quick edit and tidy it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. As,
I'll DM him and see if we can fix it.
yeah. Yeah. I see there are two links here that he can also use, like Steven's
Yeah, I
session
mean
and
he
this.
had those, but I think maybe
Yeah.
what it is, he was kind of newer to the work group and maybe he hadn't
Oh,
because this has
yes.
been
Yes.
on the board for a while now, and I think we
Yeah.
talked about it when we were trying to evolve this sort of, we know how we use our board, but we hadn't really identified, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, yeah, I feel like maybe he probably needs to watch Stephen's training video again. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll chat.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. So this backlog part two, is this the backlog?
Yeah, we need to go from that because there's been some great work done. As you can see, people have
Yeah.
been posting um, what they've done. We were
Yeah.
kind of surprised that we didn't find quite as many as we thought there were, but there was
Yeah.
plenty all the same. Okay, so I made a little note there that people have done what they've done, and we've also reassigned the remaining months of the backlog. So it was Jen to do January 23, Gorga to do February, and Clement to do March. And I'm saying
Yeah.
that I think we can trust these people to complete it in the next like few days or whatever, and we should just move this issue for payment. Does that sound
Yeah.
sensible?
Yeah. Because next week, Tuesday, um,
Yeah.
we'll line up a lot of payments, and this
Mm.
will definitely make this part of that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get them. The only thing to say is that we had a bit of a discussion in the Discord chat group for this work. Some people ended up with like loads of available meetings to add, and some people ended up with just one or two. So it feels like the pay is a little bit unfair. I think the general consensus was just like, well, sod it, these things happen, so we'll just pay it like per month as arranged. But we could like sit down and work it out and go like how many total meetings were there and therefore what is the price per meeting and do that. So I don't know. I think the decision on that has to be with the people who did the work. So are there
Yeah.
any suggestions or feelings on that? Anika?
All right. I think I dropped a suggestion that day, but I think it was misread or misinterpreted. So I was not taking up anyone's tax. I knew that the extra tax that was for the month of January, February, and March were already assigned to some people. But since we came up with this issue that some people had bit of let's say just few summaries to do, and it's not their fault because summaries were not uploaded, and some people actually did quite a large number of summaries. Then instead, we could now take the additional tax. Since everyone has gotten the opportunity to do 1 month, now we'll not check, okay, in this month, this person did 4 summaries or 5 summaries. Now you're left with 3 summaries. Can you do 2 summaries from January? Now you take the first 2 weeks, then okay, to complete your 5. Then another person can take another person that is having let's say 3 summaries or 2 summaries can take another set of 3 summaries just to complete each 5. That way everyone does almost the same number of summaries.
I see.
So that was my suggestion.
That feels fair but complicated to me, and I'm just thinking if you're prepared to administrate it for nothing, because I would be doing it for nothing, then yeah, I'm absolutely cool with that. But the other thing is we need to hopefully we want to get the payment in by Tuesday, so you've got a week to work it out. I'm totally up for it. But
yeah, but the issue now is that we've already assigned this tax to others. I don't know how they will feel, because some people might feel that we're taking their work away. I don't know.
They probably will. I mean, I just did it on first come, first served. But yeah, I mean, if people think that we should go ahead that way, then we can just say, look, sorry, we're going to reassign it. Clement.
Oh, well, I don't know. It sounds a little bit complicated, and I didn't want to speak because I am among the extra persons that got the extra assigned tax. But then I don't know. I think maybe something like this happens some other time. We could think in that direction. But for now, I'll just opt that, it goes the way it is, because I mean everyone has different perception. And then I understand how Onyeka's point of view, but then I don't know how it's gonna be for everyone else, honestly, because I mean this initially wasn't the agreement. We were just gonna be assigned based on months, and then since it was already established that we were not, we are supposed to do a particular amount of summaries, or we a particular month rather, not summaries. And then I mean wasn't within this person's power to upload these things on the YouTube account or whatever. So I mean, I don't know how, speaking to fairness though, this would be, having to make so many last minute adjustments. If this was already a pre-established criteria that, oh, okay, everyone has to do a flat number of summaries, it would have been maybe a lot more appreciable. But at this stage, I'll just suggest that maybe this stays the way it is, and then just speaking though.
Yeah, exactly. Because initially I was not in opinion of everyone having the same number of summaries. But when Vanny brought up the suggestion, I felt, because I was affected by it. I there was no defunding summary in my month. So in a way, I can't take it as my fault because the summaries were not uploaded. But and I know that some other people too will be affected by the same thing. And it feels somehow to get a lower pay because that particular month those summaries were not uploaded. Is not anyone's fault. So I just want just that suggestion. If we are going to rationalize it, if we want everyone to have the same amount of summaries, then we could use that process. But initially, I was cool with sticking to what we initially spoke of. So that was just a suggestion.
Right. Well, judging by what was said in the actual Discord chat, I think the consensus was, yeah, let's just leave it as it is and recognize that it wasn't the best approach, and next time we won't do anything like this in that way. So is there any dissenting voices? Does anybody kind of feel no, we actually should work it out more fairly? Because I mean, the other thing, which I think you said in the chat, Onyeka, was just that you still had to do the research to find out that there wasn't anything to upload. So that's still work, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to that as well, Vanny. I mean, like I reached out to you, if you remember, I think twice or thrice, and then you were like, okay, you have to go back check. And then I'd classify that as work myself because that's work. I mean, I put in time. to go search. So if I did put in time to search and then I found nothing, I mean, I still did some work, right? So
Yeah, same here. I think I reached out to Vanny too as regards to my deep funding videos. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
And from what I can see, the people who only had one or two summaries, they've kind of given a more detailed write-up, and they've kind of made a bit more effort to go and dig around and go, who is that person and what was actually said and all that. So it kind of feels like in the end, the amount of work has probably leveled out. All right, so is there any dissenting voices to the suggested payments there, which are just basically by month that you did?
Well, for me, I think I agree with what they said. So, although I'll be honest, Vanny, initially I was like, just so that to be fair, everybody should be paying, meeting. But I think hearing what they said, I understand where they're coming from. So, yeah, I agree with that.
All right, cool. So yeah, I think we've learned something. And this is one of the things with archival work is you don't know what's there until you look. So yeah, we should be a bit more conscious of that in future. But yeah, I think that can go for payment then, Andre, I guess.
Yeah, this, yeah.
But maybe don't close it actually, because or don't move it to done
Yeah.
yet, because we'll need to come back to it next time just to check that the 3 people who are doing the outstanding 3 months haven't hit any difficulties and that it's all okay.
Okay. So after we pay it, I'll just leave it here. Okay. Quarter 1 correction and maintenance of monthly archive records.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process.
Yep. I remember there was it was the tag taxonomy, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of dovetailing with that. So, and also our
Yep.
recent decision that we need people's Discord names. That I've kind of had to start going through everything again and changing that. So yeah. I'm wondering, Andre, what is the situation with the fact that this is technically a quarter 1 task? Do we need to move it for payment and just trust me that I'm getting through it, or is it okay to leave it until it's done?
We can do it either way. Really. So
Okay. If we can leave it open, then I think it's more transparent to do that. So yeah, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Archive workgroup budget quarter 1. See, it's assigned to Stephen.
Oh, that's just open because we said we'd close it when all the quarter 1
when it's
elements
done.
are done.
Yeah. Okay. So that might happen, but I wonder. So whatever we do here, I think maybe if the other stuff is paid, it's okay to close this one, as long as this one stays on, so we know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I think once we've paid all the other stuff and everything's up to date, and then it'll be okay to move this to down. Then this tunnel session on Julia's work on AI tooling. Okay, so it was to reach out this week.
Who's on this task actually here? Because I know Essie is not around at the moment. She'll be back in a couple of weeks. And
Okay.
yeah, Ekamini's not here. So yeah, I guess the last I know is they were liaising about finding a date, and they know that they can contact you if they need to. They've also got that list of, that CSV file of UBOs that they could look
Ooh,
at as
okay.
well. So,
Yeah.
oh, maybe actually, could you just add a comment in the issue that they can look at that
Yeah.
CSV file, because they might come and look at this issue. Or actually, tell you what, let's not hold you up.
Okay.
I'll add that in.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so tag taxonomy. This is the Q1.
Yeah, I've added a little update to that if you scroll down.
Okay. This guy is the front page. Okay, so that's the discussion we had on the Discord. ID equals the archive ID.
Yeah, so we agreed that we would add something about that to the front page of the Git book, so that's what I added. And
Oh, okay.
then other than that, if anyone's here who's been involved in that tag taxonomy work, I'm really conscious that it's sort of stalled because you're waiting for me to basically collate all the tags that we've got and dedupe everything. And yeah, I have been, I've just been really busy and it's awful, but I will get to it. I apologize.
I suppose this one is also this. Yeah,
I
okay,
mean,
that's good.
yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of yeah, I just need to make a final comment on that and then we can close it. So I will do that
Yeah.
after this meeting because I have done all the checking and all the like mentorship and support. So yeah, all good.
Check the chat there, Vanny.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, cheers for the offer, Anisi. I think I'm kind of there, honestly. I think handing half of it over. Yeah, I had that last night. I'm in an attic room and I was in a thunderstorm. I couldn't hear a bloody thing. But yeah, I think honestly trying to split it up between two people now would just make it extra work. So I'm nearly there. I might as well just finish. But thank you so much for the offer.
And then this download session on the tag taxonomy work, that will also have to wait a little bit.
No, it's done. Or what I was
Oh, it's
waiting
done.
for was to actually add the link to the town hall, which wasn't published when we
Oh,
made that
yes.
update.
Okay.
But yeah, it can be closed. It's ready to go.
Okay.
I just wondered, Onyeka, who was involved? Was it just you and Essay, or was it who
Oh,
was it?
ISA and Ekemini.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's how much is it? And it's divided equally or what?
I think it was
150, yeah, it's 50 each,
yeah.
yeah? Is that right?
Yeah.
Super.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I've put the unpaid tag and I can move it to done. Yeah, so we can also make that part of the payments next week. And then, okay, this is the demo session on UBS work. We talked about that just now. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I think this
Yeah, things have
That's-
gone out of order because you closed
things-
things, isn't it?
shifted a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we did talk about this. I just want to make sure. Yeah, we've covered that. Okay, then the prizes for good meeting summaries. I believe there's 2 more winners. Okay, so we need to pay these Lady Tempest and CJ Frankie, and then I believe there's 2 more winners, maybe.
Two
Yeah.
was to be chosen. I mean, Sukra or Onyeka, have you got I think you've kind of chosen them, have you?
Yeah, I think we've chosen one, or is it just myself? I think. Well, before the end of the week, we'll publish the winners. Just let me confirm. Sorry.
So before the end of the week, then
Yeah.
we'll have the final 2 winners. That's very good, because then we can also make that part of the payment for next week.
Yeah.
So if you, yeah, I'll just keep an eye out on chat. You will announce that in Discord, right?
Yeah, and I will add it to the GitHub page.
Yeah, that would be. Thanks so much. Yeah. If you add it here, then when I start doing the payments, then I've got the information here as well.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. So
If
that's good.
I don't know, Onyeka, do you want to also add in a second comment, like who's on the judging team and what they're each paid, or shall I do that? Or should we do it now? Because the judging team is you, Sucra, and
Clement.
Clement. Right, so we just need to kind of add. And you're paid how much each for the quarter? I can't recall.
I think it's somewhere around 120 or 150. I'm not really
like
sure.
that.
I think yeah.
All right, maybe we need to look at the budget and make sure we've got that right. But yeah. All right. I'll go in and make a list of who is needing to be paid what once you have announced the winners.
All right.
Thanks so much. Then
No worries.
publicity for Q2.
Are we talking about?
What? Go on.
Okay, I was asking if we're talking about winners for another set of meeting summaries, or what's winners?
Ah,
So I
no,
think I got lost.
that issue was for the Q2 version of that, and you were one of the winners there. So we have got another version for Q3, but I just haven't added it to the board yet. So in Q2, we were going to pick a total of 5 winners, and then the judging team also gets paid. So we're just trying to close that issue and move on to the Q3 version.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Oh, that's the point, actually. I'm kind of assuming that in Q3, the judges will be the same people as they were last time. Does that seem like the right assumption, or should we rotate it, or?
But do
It sort of feels to me like it's a relatively new process, and you have just got to grips with what criteria you want to be looking at. So for continuity this time, it might be good to keep the 3 of you in place, but I don't know. I don't know what people feel.
yeah, if all 3 of them are good to continue it, I think it's good. Or if one wants to step out, we can always get someone else to do it. But if all 3 is okay, I think it's good.
That's true, actually. Everybody's here. So Suk is Sukra still here? Yeah, Sukra, are you still up for it? And Clement, are you still up for it?
Yeah, sure.
I think Sukra. You're breaking up a lot. I couldn't hear.
Can you maybe type Sukra? The internet's really bad.
Can you hear me?
Still a little bit bad, eh?
So, anyway,
Oh, shucks. I think we lost it.
Okay, maybe when she comes back in, it'll be
Yeah.
easier to hear.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I think it's good. We can just check in Clemency is still good. Nico. So just wait for Sukran. And then I suppose we can move on while we wait for her.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I was looking at the publicity Q2 issue, and I think what we need to do, the last two that you've posted, Onyeka, I think they would need to go to Q3, would they? Because they were only 5 days ago, or are they still part of what was agreed for Q2? Because the thing is, we haven't got a Q3 budget line for this, have we? So,
Yeah, I think they are part of what we agreed for Q2. So
oh, okay. Cool.
yeah,
All right, so that's another one then that needs to be closed and sent for payment, isn't it?
yes.
Hey, it's good. Getting some things done, yeah. Nice. Okay.
But like maybe while we're here, maybe could we have a look at those tweets just out of interest? Because otherwise
Yeah.
we're just looking through the board and not giving people credit for their work.
Hey, nice. It's got a nice little description about the Git book. APIs.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Oh, it's got a nice
You've
link to
posted it. Oh, excellent.
yeah, showing people how the
Really
tool
good.
works. That's good.
Nice one.
Okay, and then again, that's every time I close an issue, this issue comes up next. Okay, so we have done that. Done this.
I think
Then
we're on the
archive.
archives Git book issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one we're still waiting for, mainly Governance Guild. I'm ploughing through the town halls and ticking them off, but mostly
Yeah.
it's the Governance Guild ones. So,
Yeah.
and there's some that I have added that I haven't ticked off either. So, I don't know. What do you think? Because I'm really reluctant to close it because we need to keep, because it's going to another work group, we kind of need to track that and kind of make sure it doesn't fall off the end of the agenda. So yeah, I'd be inclined to keep it open, even though it would be nice to close it in this fund request. What have we got in May? I can't remember now. Okay, there's quite a few there that have been added and I just haven't ticked them off, so I need to go through and see. We might find that that can be closed.
Okay.
Yeah, most of those, I think. And then June, we haven't actually got a list to see what needs ticked off. So because SA's away for a bit, I need to do that. Okay.
Okay. Do you need help with this? It's a way. Well,
I mean, I might as well just get it done. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
okay. Code two correction and maint.
Oh, we already did that, didn't we?
We did that, yeah. Okay. This one. I think we looked at that.
I think same principle. We were keeping it open because there are quarter two tasks that are not finished.
Yes. Okay, yeah, so these issues stay open until everything's done and the payments are done. Okay, so that's okay. Guidelines on how to make a document community owned.
Not add a link to my draft. Ugh. Just get.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. All right, I will add that straight after this meeting, and I'll put a link in the in our Discord. And if people have any comments or any additions, or it's not paid or anything because the whole task isn't paid, but I mean, yeah, it's a useful starting point. So yeah, I'll share it and people can add comments.
Yeah. This will also help us, these guidelines, with our tools that do the automation. Okay, so this ethics policy for the archives. This is the document where people had to comment.
Yeah, no, this is the Q2 task of this because we just had the doc and we asked people to make some comments. And I know some people have, but I'm just kind of wondering, do people feel like they have any more that they, so we've moved it to Q3 now. And what we said is like, we'll give kind of like a tenner to maybe 10 people. And the core team of 3 to work on creating a draft is probably going to have to move to Q4 looking at it because we've got to make some cuts somewhere. So that is going to be one of the things that might have to go. So I'm just wondering, at what point do we close this issue?
This one, yeah.
I mean, can we have a look at the doc? Maybe if you open the doc and we just see who's commented. I know Colleen has, and I know Martin did. And obviously I did. But I think that might be all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny. Yeah, you did. Good. So that's like 4 or 5 people, isn't it? Is there anybody else here who feels that they would have some comments to make and that they would like to get in there and have their say? Because we're just doing a flat rate. Just see, this is this bloody issue again, isn't it? It's the same as for the backlog work. Are we going to pay the same amount to somebody who makes one comment as we do to somebody who engages in a whole conversation? Photog.
Sorry, I don't know if you could send the link to the doc to the chats or something. Yep, I think André has done that.
Drop the link in chat. Let's go.
So I'm kind of taking it that that's at least Photog and Clement who might be interested in like adding some commentary. And then I guess it looks like, what we might have to do is create a Q4 issue. And because I think that's what it's going to be. And we'll have to close this as Q3. Colleen in the chat, how else would you rate the comments? I'm just thinking, are we actually going to look at like volume? I mean, I don't know. You see, we can't because we haven't got that much money. So the idea is it was meant to be a flat rate to just stimulate people to get in there and contribute. But what we don't want to incentivize is people making pointless comments just for the money. And if it's money per comment, that encourages people to make pointless comments. So that's what we didn't want to do. This process works quite well in onboarding work group, a flat rate. But yeah, I'm wondering what people think about it this time.
Protoge's got his hand up.
Yeah, is that a legacy hand, Photo-G? Have you got another thought?
Sorry, it was from the last time.
Okay. Yeah, it's a
I don't know.
difficult one.
I mean, is there anybody, you see, I notice Martin is somebody who has literally made one comment. So I could always DM him and just go, have you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
in the end, it's not how much you say, it's what you say, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Still hard.
Come on, somebody put your hand up and tell us how we're going to cost this. Because we've got $100 for that bit of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for the comments. I mean, can't we, this is gonna sound stupid, but maybe character count, but then, no, people can just post paragraphs of anything.
25 cents a comment. This is like translation rates, but higher. I mean, I think I'm stepping out of it actually, because a lot of my comments were just when Stephen and I were initially working on it, so it's not really been part of that process. But
Yeah,
yeah, Jen saying, honestly, I didn't expect comments for money. I mean, that's why we did it as a flat rate, because we don't want to pay
yeah,
people per comment, but we've got to incentivize people and we've got to recognize people's thinking. So if people are putting stuff in and kind of getting involved, that should be compensated, I feel.
yeah.
I mean, it ain't going to be much, but I don't know. I sort of also feel that those who have engaged in the conversation and are kind of talking and thinking about it, they are kind of setting themselves up as maybe part of the core editing team that creates a draft in whenever we manage to get there, like whether it's Q4 or whenever it is. So, it's like this has been sitting on here for quite a while. We bring it up every meeting, and those who've
Yeah.
stepped in obviously are interested. And there's nothing wrong with not being interested or not wanting to, but
Yeah.
those who are interested should be the ones that go on and edit it.
Yeah. Maybe if we keep, because this is Q3, a Q3 payment, and like you also want to get people to be part of the core team. So maybe if we leave it open for a little bit and then just stick to the $10 a person comment and
Yeah.
see
Okay.
who
I mean, if
engages.
anybody's, yeah.
Maybe more people start engaging, and
All right,
then
we'll leave it open while next meeting.
yeah.
And come back to it then. And I think if you could add a comment to the end of the issue, André,
Yeah.
to say that will be the last time. We're not gonna, because we've said this a few times
Okay.
now. Oh, let's leave it open another
Yeah.
couple of weeks and just see. But yeah, it's going to be decided next meeting
Yeah.
and closed.
Let me see. Hey, then this is another one of those issues. This will just stay open until all issues are paid and done. And that's OBS issue again. Just quickly want to see if we missed something. I don't think so.
No, but what we did miss, because I've been a bit remiss and haven't added the issue to the board because it's Q3, is
Yeah.
Onyeka and I have done a couple of little training sessions with people on how to use the tool, and that's in the Q3 budget. So if I add that, after this meeting, that could go to be
Yeah.
paid as well.
Oh, okay. That's good.
An actual Q3 thing being paid. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that is everything on the project board. Was there anything else we had to discuss? So I suppose we are just waiting for this budget cuts. So we'll have to see what's next. We'll have to cut.
Yeah.
And then also, so we'll have one more meeting at least before we take a break. So I think we have that other meeting. Maybe by then we'll do the final cuts.
Bloody hope so. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just for people who weren't here at the very beginning, we were talking about like summer holidays, and we've got one more meeting in July on the 24th, and then we kind of thought we would not meet in August, so that would be the 7th and the 21st, and we'd come back on the 4th of September. Is there anybody who can see any problems with that?
I think it's a good idea to take a little break. The people in Treasury operations also mentioned that. Was there anything else? No, I think a lot of things are pretty much riding on that budget decision. So after we know what that is, then we can decide what happens in Q3. Because I also added like one task, Q3 task, but if it doesn't get paid, that's also okay. We can pay it Q4, I suppose.
All right, which one was that?
Just this document, where is it? This document management. I've got a
Oh no, I think that's in the that's like the protected bit of the budget, isn't it? Because it's so core to what we're doing. So
okay.
I think we maybe we didn't, but I think we put it in like core work.
Yeah. Okay. I just added it to keep
Good.
track of the time that it's being done in.
Yeah. Oh, and you added meeting summary tool redesign as well. That's great.
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah. Feels like it's been quite a nice quick meeting.
Yeah.
The governance token. Could I explain the governance token? I don't know if I could, to be honest. No.
Is it it's the one, is it the one that governance work group
Yeah.
is
That is the one you mean, right? Onika, the one that Felix and governance work group kind of, it was an experiment, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just an experiment. It's very much the same as those minute tokens. It's just I think it's also somewhat related to time contribution, or it's very similar to that, yeah.
It was like a precursor of core contributor, wasn't it? It was like trying to work out who should have the right to make a governance decision.
Yes.
I think they used a similar kind of approach. I'd need to check to work out what the criteria were. And then they created a token, and quite a small number of those who were eligible actually voted or used it, and there were some questions about like what was the barriers that made people not use it. So yeah, I'd need to check back on my notes on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think
And I think it led to later things, didn't it, Andre?
Yeah, think at one stage, I remember when that started, we thought maybe of every work group have a token, and then you can see like this person has this much archive tokens, governance tokens, so you can see where they, and also then it's like a weight when they vote, they have more weight in the governance voting or archives voting or strategy guild voting. So you can maybe vote if a work group presents something where they need votes. So it is like a reputation thing, you know. It was an experiment. I don't know. We can still get that data without the token, actually, via the the treasury system. We can get that same data. I think that's why we never really created more tokens. But maybe it's something that will happen in the future. Or we'll start creating tokens again. I'm not sure. But that was the idea behind it, yeah.
I'm just thinking, in these meetings, we keep ending up with a side conversation in the chat about soulbound tokens, and it's just where are we gonna have a proper conversation about this? It feels like it's a forum topic, so maybe we could put it in the ambassadors forum rather, because it's not really an AI topic, so it can't go in the tightly moderated and strictly AI forum that's just been created. But does anybody fancy starting a conversation off in the existing ambassador forum, or should we take it to make a thread in archives work group? I mean, it's not really especially an archival issue, is it? What do you reckon? Forum? Jen or
Yeah.
Colleen, would you fancy kicking it off?
Yeah, because about like soulbound token, I think Kenichi hype about that because the soulbound
Yeah.
token is like a certification for something that can be showed up, something like that. In my perspective, I think people use that for like wanted to show everyone about maybe like when he or she in active in one work group, and then there will be like showing it up to everyone with the soulbound token itself, something like that. But I don't think it is necessary for me. I think NFT is good. It's more like not into privacy issue than soulbound. So I'm sorry to jumping in with this conversation. Thank you.
What I was going to say, Jen, is do you fancy kicking off a conversation on it in the ambassadors forum? Because it'd be great.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
it
really
would be
good to
great.
discuss
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess you
Open.
frame the question and you post it, and I'll definitely jump in, and I'm sure Colleen will. Maybe we can persuade Kenichi to jump in as well. It could be an interesting conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's good if we can definitely start those conversations again. Because it seems like it keeps coming up. And is there anything else someone wants to talk about? Can we go home early today? Went quite quick.
I'm going to stop the recording anyway.